There are levels to this thing. So you can actually be in the same thing, but playing at different levels, which is actually where this session comes in. So we're trying to look, how do we take these same things we're doing? So yes, I'm playing this, I'm doing that, and we're able to go to scale it, to make it grow. While I was in the university, I was an athlete. So I did martial arts for my university. I used to fight taekwondo. And I did combat. I fought a few competitions, used to go for university games. I represented my university at some competitions. But I remember my coach of blessed memory now, Coach Stevie Hyom, an Olympian, 2 times African champion, was hired just to come and build a team in my university. He was a sports medical professional. He studied something called sports medicine. I think it's an offshoot of anatomy or something like that. So when we are on the pitch, or we are training, and we have injuries, or God come and you are telling him something, I say, Coach, today I cannot train, no, I have kata. He will tell you, give me your finger, your hand. And he will touch something on the hand, and the kata will go. Or like, what kind of jazz is this? If you tell him you're having headache, he will do some measurement at some point, and then there's one particular point, he will just touch the head, and then the headache will go in 5 minutes. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And I learned to understand, I got to learn that it's actually possible to control different parts of the body from a different part. Now, the simple reason I'm telling the story is to buttress the concept of cause and effect. Sometimes, the result we are looking for in one area does not need an input from that area. The input you need is somewhere else. So, when we are talking about exponential growth, we are thinking growth. Maybe what we are expecting is 7 laws of exponential growth. The thing stopping the growth is not in the place that the growth manifests. It may be somewhere else in one other aspect of your life. When you tweak that place, the growth takes off. So when you understand how these things are connected, it's like disease and symptoms. When you are sick, malaria. When you have malaria, what do you feel? Fever and headache. What is the medicine for headache? Paracetamol. But you have malaria. You think you have headache. So you take paracetamol. What happens? The headache will go and come. It will go and come unless you treat the disease. So it's the same issue we have in Nigeria as a country. You have symptoms we are trying to solve. Unemployment. Those are not diseases, they are symptoms. Every government has been trying to solve unemployment. You cannot solve because it's not a disease. You need to face where is the real problem. When you face the problem, symptoms will disappear. So, why I'm saying this, just to lay a foundation for the things I'm going to be saying this evening, so that we understand that while what I'm going to be saying may not look like what you are expecting to see, but these are the places you touch so that you see growth in other areas. And we started yesterday by talking about you being at the center, that you are the center of everything that happens to you. We said you are the heart, meaning whatever happens to you affects everything that you do. So if you want to see a change in any area of your life, where should you focus on? The person in the middle. You are thinking, how can my finances grow? Leave finance. Come to you. How can my business grow? How can my ministry grow? How can my family be better? How can my marriage be better? It is not the marriage. It is the people in the marriage. Because that you are having problem in your marriage does not mean that the institution called marriage is faulty. Because while you are having issues in your own, somebody else is enjoying their own. So the real issue is not with the institution. It's with the person. So when you say business is not doing well, the issue most times is not the business. I mean, I'm just reminding ourselves where we stopped yesterday. But now, when most of us want to now begin to make changes, we're thinking, okay, now I want to make changes in my life. I want to see different. I want to see something different in my life. We now begin to start to change. And then we get frustrated because we're trying to make change happen from the wrong direction. Everything, growth, change, where does it start from? Inside. Growth does not begin on the outside. If you want to experience growth, now this is it, cause and effect. Where do we see growth? On the outside. So suddenly, this guy runs a business and he has one shop. Then we come back in 6 months and we see he has 4 shops. Then we come back in 1 year, he has 12 shops. We think it is shop that is increasing. But the real thing changing is the person. And I learned this one the hard way. Myself. We started a school with my wife. I told you yesterday. It was a daycare center we started. Can't forget. We had so much faith. We went to go and rent a big building that can take 80 children. And then we had 2 for like the first almost 3 months. 2 babies, daycare center. And then when my pastor came to dedicate the place, he was like, you people have faith. We said, Pastor, you teach us faith. Now how can we not have faith? And we took this place. And he said, how many children will fill? We said, 80 children will fill it. And by 80, we'll break even and all of that. And so every time he sees me in church, so how many are you now? So we are 12. Oh, great. God is God. How many are you now? 25. How many are you now? 40. And then we were growing steadily. Then we got to about 70. And we plateaued. 70 became the number. If we cross 70 by 3, something will happen that will take us back to 68. We kept on revolving around that 70. I said, yes. So after a while, I began to avoid my pastor. Because, how many are you now? The number was not increasing. Initially, I was excited to give him an update. Now that there's no progress, I'm dodging the man. I said, how many are you now? I'm like, Pastor, where? So one day we asked ourselves, what is the issue? Are there village people sitting at number 70 that have said you will not cross 70? What is the issue going? And then thankfully, that was when I was doing a master's in organizational leadership. I began to study organizations. And then I realized the secret. Organizations stop at the level of the leaders. So I told my wife, hey, this school is not the problem. The problem is me and you. We have reached our limit. That number 70 was our limit for leadership. And I realized at that point I had about 15 staff. That was our limit for managing people. The revenue we're making was our limit for managing finances. If we make a 16th hire, that 16th person will be a very bad one. That will come and do something and 10 parents will go. And we go back to 60. And then if we make one useless financial decision that was not calculated well and something will happen. And I just told her, you know what, leave this school alone. Let's focus on us. And that was when we told ourselves, okay, let's start aggressive personal growth. Aggressive personal growth. We live in Uyo. We hear they are doing seminar in Lagos. Both of us will fly to Lagos for 1 day seminar. Go back. They are doing this in here. We started going everywhere looking for knowledge. I just woke up one day and school was 150. I cannot tell you what we did. That this is what we touched. That school went to 150. School just followed us as we're growing. It was following us because suddenly we're getting wiser. We're making better decisions. We're managing our finances better. And so things were just the me of before that I want to maybe address a customer and because I'm learning how to talk to people, I'm learning just as you grow, it just begins to affect all the areas of your business. Where were we seeing the change in the numbers? Where was the real change happening? Inside. And I say, I have discovered this thing non-stop. We will continue. That's how we kept going. 250, 350, 450, 550, 650. The last I counted, we're approaching 850. And so anywhere they are learning anything, just be going. Because the day we stop, this growth stops. It begins on the inside. You are the person who makes everything happen. And you see, what really causes frustration when we talk about growth is this. You capture a vision. You see a picture of where you're supposed to be. You start this business today and it is here. And where you are seeing a distance that this is possible. Usually, we forget that the person who receives a vision is not the same person who accomplishes it. The vision actually requires you to change into a different kind of person that can make that vision possible. The Joseph that we are studying, the Joseph that saw sun, moon, and stars bowing to him is not the Joseph that led Egypt. Totally different Joseph. Same person, but a transformation happened that took him to that person. The Moses that saw deliverance for Israel and the Moses that ended up leading Israel out of Egypt. They're not the same Moses now. Check how he handled the matter the first time and the one the second time. The man had totally transformed. So, usually, the gap between vision and reality is actually a transformation gap. And it's a personal transformation gap. And when we want to transform, give me that next slide, that B do have. There's a principle here, I call it the transformation cheat code. This particular concept is right in front of us, but most times we don't see it. Whenever you're thinking of change, thinking of transformation, we read a scripture yesterday, Genesis 1:28. Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and have dominion. Fruitfulness, what do you do to fruitfulness? Be. You are fruitful. It's who you become. What do you do with multiplication? Multiplication is a doing now. Do you be multiply? You do multiplication. Then what happens to dominion? So first you become, then you do, then you have. It's a cheat code. Do you know what we do as human beings? We want to have so that we can do, hoping to become. If I have money, I will do business, then I will be successful. The Bible gave us the format. We reversed it. So here's somebody saying, I have a lot of pastor friends saying, if I have 500 members, I can do this kind of program so I can. I'm like, no, you don't have members to do program to be the kind of pastor. You become the pastor first that can do the kind of program that will bring the people. Be, do, have. When you become, doing becomes effortless. And when you do, having is just a consequence of doing. So really, you don't even struggle to have. What you have is a function of what you do, and what you do is a function of who you become. Let me give you some practical examples. I'll say it again. Yes. What you have is an outcome of what you do. And what you do is a function of who you have become. Do you know the amount of physics and engineering required for you as a human being to stand on two legs without falling? Go and ask robotics engineers how long it took to get robots to walk on two legs. You think it's easy? What stands on two legs and does not fall? So inside you, there is an invisible gyrometer, something giving you balance, that you can even run, you can jump. It looks effortless to you. Do you know why? That is who you are. You are created with the ability to walk on two legs. If it's easy, may dog run now. A dog of 4 legs is wondering, how are these human beings walking on 2 legs? A dog will try to walk on 2 legs. How far can it go? It can do a few steps and fall. When you have not become, doing cannot be sustained. If it is not in your being, you cannot do it. So you can attempt to say, but this pastor is doing it. This guy is doing it. Let me do what they are doing. If you try to do what they are doing without becoming who they have become, it will not work. You will stress and you can't sustain it. 30 December last year, I was in Lagos with my family. I have 3 kids, so we're 5. And we came to Lagos. When we were coming, we bought a one-way ticket because our itinerary was not guaranteed and all of that. By the time we were sure, we had to buy a return ticket to go back to Uyo. No flights. All flights sold out till like 29th of December. We're supposed to go back and do Christmas in Uyo. I said, I can't stay in Lagos for another 6 or 7 days. Check Port Harcourt, no flights. Check Calabar, no flights. Check all the cities, Enugu. I said, wait first. Money no day. Now spirit the entire flight. Who is filling up this flight? But anyway, I checked and I just began to ask myself, hold on. You mean I'm going to stay in Lagos? And I just could not imagine going on the road. So I told myself, okay, 2 options, we stay. And I said, what face? And all these boys flying private jet up and down, do they have 2 heads? For the first time, I went to go and check price of how do you charter a flight? What is this? Bring this flight. Let me come and carry my family to you. And I saw the price. And when I looked at the price, I'm like, but Osimhen is doing this thing. Davido is doing this thing. Why can't I do it? And to be honest, right, with the price I saw, if I shake all my accounts, you know how you do that thing? You move this one here, go to Piggyverse, empty it. I will charter that flight. And I will fly private jets. And I will land in Uyo. But after you have emptied all the accounts and you land in Uyo, body go tell you. Why? You are trying to do without becoming. These boys, 1 weekend football allowance will make that jet possible. Because they have become something that doing becomes effortless. Me, I have not become me. That doing is effortful. So I will struggle because who am I trying to impress? I just told myself, David, calm down. Go and become. When you become, there's a level I will get to. It is not me that will charter the flight. It is the person who needs me where he needs me to be that will charter the flight. At that point, entering private jet becomes easy because I have become. So now I can do, then I can have. Very simple cheat code. You are trying to. So go and check your goals. You've written goals for this is January. You know the mistake. Go and check your goals. You will be surprised that most of your goals will be to do, to have, to do, to have. Go and check. That is why we set goals year in, year out. And it's not happening. Because we're not setting the right goals. The right goal to set is what? Become. So when I know what I need to have, or I want to do, the question I should ask myself is, who do I need to become in order to be able to do this? And then the goal for the year is, how do I become this? Because once I become it, those other things, they just follow you. So your life becomes it's like magic. Like, how are you doing this thing? Okay, I have become what you did not know last year. So what I could do last year, because of who I was, I have become a different person. You can't expect my results to be the same. Very simple cheat code. And so, becoming is the actual gap between vision and reality. When you become, the vision just comes automatically. Now, how do you start that journey of becoming?